ISC report writing, full marks 15 and word limit 300 words. Let us discuss the format and the basic pattern which needs to be followed to write a perfect newspaper report. I have prepared 3 model reports for you, 1 crime report and 2 accident report. Let us quickly read them one after the other and see how a good report must be written. Using the notes given below, write a report on the following incident under the title A Deadly Disaster. If the title is already mentioned in the question, use that title. And if the title is not mentioned, then frame a short, simple and crisp title directly associated with the topic. What will you do with the points that will be given, that will be provided? You will have to amplify, amplification and elaboration. You will have to remember that you need to take one point, amplify it, discuss it and then move on to the next point. Don't just mention the points randomly in sentences. Discuss and amplify. You will get good marks. Nature of the accident, location, causes, when it happened, impact, casualty, destruction, rescue and research operations, difficult terrain and other challenges faced by rescue workers, eyewitness accounts, reaction of victims, aftermath and government initiative. You may include 1 or 2 points of your own if required. Practice report writing. Read newspaper reports on a regular basis. This is our report. A deadly disaster, the title, a headline and then the byline. Now what is the headline? The headline is the most important part of the report. The headline should give the reader an almost complete idea of what the report is about. And then comes the byline. Leave one line and write the byline. Staff correspondent or staff reporter. Do not write your name. It is nothing but the name of the author or reporter who is filing the report. In your case, you will write staff correspondent or staff reporter. After that, place. The place is where you are sitting while writing the report. If you are sitting in Mumbai and writing about something that happened in Rajasthan, you should just use Mumbai and not Rajasthan. Keep this in mind. After that, date. Which date will you write? If you are writing your examination on 11 July, mention that date. And the date is the date on which the report is being written. Keep the date format like this: 11 July or January 20, July 11. No need to use the year, but if your teacher has instructed you to mention the year, go ahead, listen to her and mention the year as well. In some schools, I have seen that teachers have instructed the students to write the day. So, follow the instructions given at school. This is the total English format, a basic format. After this, the introduction. The introduction paragraph must explain to the readers what the event is all about. Most of the readers just read this paragraph and leave. So, make sure that you include what happened, where it happened, how it happened and when it happened. Provide the lead: who, what, when, where. Your report is like an inverted pyramid. The lead must be mentioned right in the introduction, and this is how I have framed the introduction of this accident report. A flash flood triggered by localized rainfall near the holy shrine of the Amarnath cave in Jammu and Kashmir swept away pilgrims, killing 16 and leaving at least 40 others injured. The tragic accident took place at around 5:30 p.m. on Friday, July 8th, resulting in heavy discharge of water, along with mud and rocks hurtling down a hillside. Look at the introduction. Everything, the lead has been provided and every important information has been provided in the very beginning. What happened? A flash flood and then localized rainfall along with heavy discharge of water along with mudslide. After that, where? The location, the nature of the accident, the location, the date, the time, everything has been mentioned. What, where, how and when, and who were affected. After that, the next paragraph, change the paragraph. You may leave one line, and if your teacher has asked you not to leave the line, just change the paragraph and begin the body. 5 paragraphs in total and maximum of 7 paragraphs, not more than that. After that, I'll discuss the causes and what happened in detail. Why and how in detail. Gushing water swamped tents, community kitchens and affected numerous pilgrims. Casualty. Around 15,000 people were shifted to safer locations while the injured were taken to the base camp. The rescue operation, the search operation, disaster management workers, the security forces started working tirelessly to ensure each and every missing person was accounted for. Use simple English and provide factually correct pieces of information. 6 victims were evacuated in air rescue operation while mountain rescue squads and lookout patrols were involved in the process of searching for the missing. Use words which are appropriate to the incident which you are reporting. Use passive voice in order to maintain objectivity. You must, as a reporter, report objectively instead of giving your own opinion or judgment. After that, change the paragraph. Use short paragraphs. Incessant rain, steep terrain and large-scale devastation of the calamity were problems faced by the rescue operation squads. What hindered the rescue operation? What challenges did the rescue workers face? This point was there in the question and this is how I have amplified it. That means I have elaborated this point. I have discussed it in detail but as briefly as possible. So, take one point, discuss it and then move on to the other point and change paragraphs. After that, eyewitness accounts and the accounts of the survivors. I have discussed the impact and now the eyewitness accounts must be there in your report to make it interesting. Mayuk Bishnoi from Bihar said he ran away to safety from his tent near the cave when the monstrous stream of muddy water and rocks trailed him. Survivors apprehended. And what is the meaning of apprehended? Feared. They would all be buried under. They feared for their lives. Their lives were at risk. So, in one paragraph, eyewitness account plus survivor account. Another short paragraph. After that, again, I will change the paragraph and in this paragraph, I will mention the government initiative. The state government announced a monetary compensation of 5 lakh rupees for the deceased. What is the meaning of the word deceased? Dead. And 1 lakh rupees for the injured. It set up helpline numbers for gathering accurate information. So, whenever you have an accident, you have helpline numbers and evacuation takes place, rescue takes place. So, these are the basic words and expressions which you need to use while reporting an accident. Make a stock of such words. The pilgrimage was suspended. The impact, the aftermath. The pilgrimage was suspended and was resumed after 3 days. The Commissioner of Police of Southern Kashmir, and the name Mr. Sanket Chaudhary, speaking to the press, stated that the government would ensure identification of the dead and the missing, and also the safe return journey of the survivors. Clear steps taken by the government. This is stated in this sentence. The Commissioner of Police of Southern Kashmir, Mr. Sanket Chaudhary, the name and the designation of the government official. Punctuation. You need to take care of your punctuation marks. Put punctuation marks at their proper places. And since you are a reporter, you are associated with the press, use terms like reporters, press, eyewitness accounts. Use these words to make your report more interesting and lively. Next, Friday's gush of water was beyond calculations and never witnessed before. I have quoted this, and this is optional. You may quote or you may write in indirect speech. It is up to you. After that, the last paragraph, the traumatic experience of the victims. What kind of experience was this? Traumatic. Always, an accident is a traumatic experience. The traumatic experience of the victims moved the entire nation, and the suddenness of the disaster caught everyone unaware. What was so significant about this? The suddenness of the disaster. The government announced that more effective safety measures would be provided while planning for the future. Risk sites would be tracked down and avoided. 1 or 2 measures at the end. And this is how I have concluded this report. The second one, bank robbery, crime report, theft, chain snatching, street quarrel, murder, and so on. Using the notes given below, write a report on a bank robbery. I'll use this title. After that, the points. Date, time, location of the robbery. When, where, what, how. Number of robbers. Incident, whether armed, loot, escaped before the arrival of the police. Police action, investigation details, eyewitness accounts, customers and their reaction, steps taken by bank. You may add other relevant points if needed. Again, the total English format, the heading, the headline, a bank robbery. After that, leave one line and write staff reporter or staff correspondent. And then, in the next line, Kolkata, the name of the place and the date. 8th August. If you are asked to write the year, go ahead and write the year. Now, the introduction. The State Bank of India, located on Highway 79 of West Bengal, suffered a huge loss as 4 armed men stormed into the branch to loot it. Note how the introduction, the flavor of the report is completely different from the accident report. Crime report will be different from an accident report. A sports report will again be different from crime and accident reports. The flavor will change. The basic format will remain the same, but your approach, your style of writing needs to be modified according to the purpose of writing the report. The State Bank of India, located on Highway 79 of West Bengal, suffered a huge loss as 4 armed men stormed into the branch to loot it. On Monday, 7 August at 3:30 a.m., these criminals, who were wearing masks and had guns in hand, attacked the 3 security personnel of the branch. So, The news report has started with the most important idea. The most important information comes first, and then the second important information comes next, and so on. This is called inverted pyramid style. Introduction in this report has already provided the lead. And now let's move on to the body. The body of the report. Change paragraphs. Do not forget to change the paragraphs. The guards were tied. How did it happen? The guards were tied to their seats with thick ropes and made unconscious as they made their way into the bank, as the robbers made their way into the bank. The locks of the gate were melted with high voltage current. Even the gates were damaged. All the money that was stored in the bank as well as the locker room was looted. The loot. What exactly happened? The men had come in a van in which they loaded all the money and fled in half an hour. An estimated amount of 55 lakhs cash and assets was stolen. All important pieces of information are mentioned in the body in the very beginning. After that, I will mention about the investigation details and the police activity. What are the policemen doing in this case? The police arrived at the spot around 4:30 a.m. but by then the damage was done. Investigation about the case is on, and the policemen were hopeful that the culprits would be caught soon. The policemen were lucky enough to get hold of an eyewitness too, who was residing on the 4th floor of a nearby building. The testimony would surely help the police to catch the burglars. CCTV footage was checked. Another eyewitness, whose identity was not disclosed, said to the reporters, and I have quoted, "It is terrifying, and since the robbers have come in such a time before dawn, has sent chills down our spines." So, eyewitness accounts, and then I will mention the customers, what the customers are thinking, how they are reacting to this. Let's see. The bank was immediately shut down for an indefinite period. The customers are in panic, although there has been an assurance from the bank that the customers will not have to bear heavy losses. What is the bank doing after this? What steps has the bank taken in order to reassure the customers? Any inconvenience is highly regretted. So everything is associated with bank robbery, and I have followed the points. I have used the points, and I have also added a few points on my own. Any inconvenience is highly regretted. The incident has put the other banks in the area on red alert, a very important piece of information. So frame the report in such a manner that the readers are engaged in the process of getting an idea about the whole incident. You need to make your readers read your report. Otherwise, what's the use of writing a report? Extra security has been given to the banks from the police too. Next, the customers are eagerly waiting for the thieves to be caught. Amidst all the hustle and bustle, the commotion, the chaos, the manager of the bank has requested his customers to keep their calm and faith in the system. "It is a massive loss," said another bank officer, "but everyone is doing his best to find the lost money and assets." So, this is a note of reassurance to the customers. Positive steps taken by the bank and the police in order to help the customers who are panic-stricken. The investigators stated that a recce was done. Now, what is a recce? When terrorists or thieves or robbers do something wrong, they choose a target to do something wrong, they go and visit that place to gather information about that place. So this is recce. R-E-C-C-E. This is perhaps a new word, but whenever you are reporting a crime, use this term, recce. The investigators stated that a recce was done before the robbery and a notorious gang was involved in it. The area where the bank is located is characterized by lawlessness and anti-social activities. This incident is a warning and the police immediately started stricter patrolling and night vigilance in and around areas where banks are located. The conclusion is where you can mention what is expected in future or what happened in the past relating to the event, or it can be anything, but you must give a proper closure so that the report should not sound like it ended suddenly. Another accident report, children drown in school bus. The points: date, time, location of accident, nature of accident, cause, casualty, rescue operation, eyewitness accounts, victims and survivors account, reaction of family, government initiative, and again you may include other points if required. Children drown in school bus. Staff reporter, Kolkata, 25 August. After that, the introduction. So just have a look. This is how you must start the report. 23 children were drowned to death and 10 others injured, 5 of them seriously injured when a private school bus carrying 65 children of classes 5 to 7 hit one pillar of the Howrah Bridge and fell overside into the river Hooghly. The lead: when, where, who, what, all pieces of information are there. 65 children in total, 23 drowned to death, 10 injured, 5 seriously injured. The nature of the accident: private school bus hit one pillar of the Howrah Bridge and fell overside into the river Hooghly. The cause in brief. And the date, time. The location is mentioned. The tragic mishap, accident. Use words like this: mishap, accident, tragic, disastrous, deadly, fatal. The tragic mishap took place on Monday at 10 a.m. in the morning and the cause of the accident was said to be reckless driving, clearly mentioned. There is no beating around the bush. The driver was reported to have lost control when he tried to overtake a speeding lorry. The loud thud drew the attention of the people nearby, who immediately rushed to the spot and helped in rescue operations. The members of the disaster management team worked tirelessly to rescue the survivors among the 65 children present inside the fateful bus. The superintendent of police rushed to the spot, which has proved to be an accident-prone area, this being the third such incident this year. So a rectification, third such S-U-C-H incident this year. Depth of the river hindered initially rescue work. The problems faced by the rescue workers and the rescue work is still in progress. After that, speaking to the reporters, an eyewitness said, "The suddenness of the accident has shaken all of us." A victim, Manisha Roy of class 7, managed to recount the horrifying experience of the moment just before the accident. She said, "I could see death." A quotation. Observe how these little details, these quotations or these eyewitness accounts will make your report stand out and very interesting. After that, the victims are traumatized and still many are missing. Devastated parents, the reaction of the family. The school. Devastated parents. Parents are devastated. The principal of the school, Miss Smita Chaudhary, and the teachers are demanding a probe. The driver and the mate, his assistant, are untraceable. They are not to be found anywhere. The owner of the private bus was arrested. Steps taken by the police. Immediate action must be taken to post more traffic police on the Howrah Bridge for control of vehicle movement. What are the steps that the police took and will take in future? This is what I have mentioned in the conclusion, a proper closure. Stringent rules. What is the meaning of stringent? Strict rules must be implemented for verification of the license of the drivers and inspection of the vehicles. Students, just have a look. Report writing is an exercise in amplification, and students must be taught to include in their amplification all given points. Mere mention is not enough. You must be trained and you must practice to amplify the points given. This is not a composition and practice must be given to students accordingly. Your teachers will tell you and you have ample reference materials available to learn. Precision and clarity in language are essential for this exercise. Correct formats for reports must be taught properly in class, so be careful about the format. Clarify all your doubts before your examination. So, here I end today's discussion. Stay connected.